Did I have any nicknames? Well, I had a nickname at the sheriff's office, and they called me Spanky. And that was my nickname, but that went back to when I was a little kid, because I had a little neighborhood group that I used to take around and everything, and I was kind of the leader of that little group. And so I was the Deputy Warden of Operations at the Missouri State Penitentiary. And then after it closed, September 15th of 2004, I was the Deputy Warden of Operations at the new Jefferson City Correctional Center. In one capacity or another for 42 years. I was gone for a while with the sheriff and the prosecutor as the chief investigator for this county, Cole County. And I worked all the crimes that occurred inside the prison, but I started at the Missouri State Penitentiary in 1968. When I started working there, I became more and more interested in it, became more and more interested in criminal justice, and decided to continue in that field. And I also had an uncle that was a federal prison warden, and he made me interested in it as well. Hundreds and hundreds of photographs, and all that stuff that was back over here behind the bar in the family room, that's all plastic containers full of materials that I've collected over the years. The objects in the Historical Society absolutely mean nothing unless you can connect them to people. And that's where the connection comes in. That's where the real value of an item comes in. When you can look at an item, a lot of these items aren't particularly valuable. They're valuable to me because they have a personal connection. And that's what makes something valuable. Youngest inmate ever in the prison, my son, who's the fire captain. That was taken in 1973 in the Cole County Jail, actually. I wrote a couple of books on the prison, Somewhere in Time, and then this summer I had one that came out called Shanks to Shakers. On the Somewhere in Time book, the blue-covered one, I spent about 3,000 hours researching that book. And I'd read old documents, old newspaper accounts, take notes, because that's what you have to do. Because the problem that you have with the prison history is there really was no prison history. So there wasn't some definitive prison history that you could go to and say, fine, this is what I'm going to use as a basis for whatever it was I was writing. So I had to collect that material and that information. I've seen some very humorous things in the prison. I've seen some very tragic things in the prison. And probably a couple of the most tragic were, first of all, when I saw the first time that I actually witnessed an inmate that was being killed. That really drove a point home to me about how dangerous the place really was. All the tours that I do for the thousands of people that come through the old prison, I find out something from those people. I find people that have worked there. I find people that have a history and a connection there. It's beneficial to me because I find people that able to give me additional historical information and kind of pieces to the puzzle. So every single week or month that goes by, I find out something about the prison that, even though I've done thousands of hours of research for these publications that I've done, I find new information that I didn't know before. So that makes it interesting. But I consider myself as an ongoing student of history.